We're starting with the audio test iPhone 16 Pro and Samsung Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. Both phones are released almost the same time, end of 2024. So we have triple camera setup on both phones, 48 megapixel, 12 and 48 on iPhone 16 Pro, and we have 58 and 12 on Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. I think that's it for the quick audio test. Now let's check some portrait shots. On 1x, if you look on the face, you will see that iPhone 16 Pro has better edge detection than S24 FE, but if you don't zoom in on the shot, you would notice that it's almost the same for both phones, even the background blur. There's more details on the face on S24 FE and more natural looking skin tone and colors on iPhone 16 Pro. On 2x, there's better exposure on S24 FE. Looking at my face, iPhone 16 Pro tends to crush the blacks and even make the image looks dull, but the iPhone has less noise than the competition. If you look on the jacket, there's more noise on S24 FE, but then if you look on the face, you got warmer skin tone on Samsung Galaxy. On zoom portrait, there's a difference of implementation. You have 3x on S24 FE and 5x on iPhone 16 Pro. I like the more detailed face on iPhone 16 Pro and the background is almost dreamy at this point. S24 Fan Edition is not so bad, to be honest, but if you crop in on the image, you will notice that there's more details on iPhone 16 Pro. On selfie, there's gradual blur on S24 FE. You would notice that my wife is a little bit blurred, and this is all captured on iPhone 16 Pro. You got better details on the flagship iPhone, and I also like the clarity and details on the iPhone 16 Pro. Alright, we're starting our video quality test using the selfie camera in 4K 60 FPS. Both phones are capable of 4K 60 FPS video recording. In terms of video quality, I like the warmth and contrasty feel of iPhone 16 Pro. It's a little bit bluish and washed out on my jacket on Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. Now let's switch to the rear cameras. Now we're testing the rear cameras of both phones. This is the ultra-wide lens in 4K 30 FPS. S24 FE is only limited on 30 FPS on all sensors. The 4K 60 FPS is only available for the main sensor. In terms of field of view, we have 0.5 on iPhone 16 Pro and 0.6, a little bit cropped in on Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. This is 48 megapixel sensor versus 12 megapixel sensor. Now let's switch to the main sensor. Now, this is the main sensor in 4K 60 FPS. Again, S24 FE has 4K 60 FPS on the main sensor. Again, 48 megapixel sensor versus 50 megapixel sensor. In terms of video quality, there's a difference of white balance, warmer on iPhone 16 Pro and cooler on Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. Now, let's check the zoom. Now, this is the zoom capabilities of both phones. So, 3x on Samsung Galaxy S24 Fan Edition, and we have 5x on iPhone 16 Pro. So we have 12 megapixel sensor on iPhone 16 Pro and 8 megapixel on Samsung Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. So in terms of selfie, ultra wide, main sensor and zoom, which phone do you think is better? In terms of colors, both phones are almost identical on this image quality test. I see a few differences and we will talk about them a little bit more. Galaxy S24 Fan Edition is warmer than iPhone 16 Pro, looking at the bricks. Also, if you look on the sky, it's a little bit cooler on iPhone 16 Pro. The sky is more defined and vivid on Samsung Galaxy S24 Fan Edition, and iPhone 16 Pro has lighter rendition. Both phones are solid on edge detection, and you will see that there's bokeh balls on the background. Subject separation is really good. If you look on the surface of the subject, you will see that there's more details on iPhone 16 Pro. We could say a little bit over sharpened too at times, but all good.
Can you feel my love?
We both have triple camera setup from the ultra-wide main sensor and 3 to 5 times optical zoom, but in terms of the farthest range, S24 FE has 30 times. Both phones can shoot 4K 120 FPS slow motion, but you got two focal lengths 1x and 3x on iPhone 16 Pro. This is the portrait video test on Galaxy S24 Fan Edition, 4K 30 FPS using the selfie camera. And this is the cinematic mode on iPhone 16 Pro. Again, selfie camera in 4K 30 FPS. Both the selfie and the rear cameras can shoot 4K 30 FPS portrait video. This is the video stabilization test, 4K 60 FPS on both phones. So looking at the sky, a little bit bluer on S24 FE. Now let's check the video stabilization. Also in terms of white balance, a little bit warmer on iPhone 16 Pro. Now let's check the rear cameras. We are starting with the video test, 4K 30 FPS. Main sensor, we're switching to the ultra wide lens. Look at the video stabilization. And we're shaking the phones a little bit for you to see the difference. Now we're switching to the main sensor. Look at the video quality, the colors and exposure. Again, video stabilization test. Now we have 3x optical zoom on S24 FE and 5x on iPhone 16 Pro. Again, video stabilization test. Now going to the forward zoom, we got 12x on S24 FE and 15x on iPhone 16 Pro. Switching back to the main sensor, which phone do you think is better?
Late night feels like
Night shots are pretty good on both phones, especially if you have enough light. iPhone 16 Pro is warmer and colorful than the competition.
it takes me home. Your name pops up.
Very good control of flaring, and you would see smoke on the sky, just a little bit noisier on S24 Fan Edition.
Talk for hours on and on about nothing at all. Got me at every.
The biggest difference is pitch black condition. You get better image quality, the details, exposure, and sharpness on iPhone 16 Pro.
Night. Don't need no reason. It's not urgent. Emotions medicine. It's night. It ease my pain. 'Cause girl, it's healing. You're my medicine.
And good thing about both phones, they can shoot on the ultra-wide main sensor and the zoom. All sensors can shoot night shot.
Something inside comes alive.
We're starting with the low-light video recording on the selfie camera, 4K 60 FPS. So we have 10 megapixel on Samsung Galaxy S24 Fan Edition and 12 megapixel on iPhone 16 Pro. The sensor on S23 FE is a little bit bigger, but in terms of video quality, which phone do you think is better? Now we're testing the rear cameras of both phones, starting with the ultra-wide lens in 4K 60 FPS. So 12 megapixel sensor on Galaxy S24 FE. And we have a larger 48 megapixel sensor on iPhone 16 Pro. I pre-checked the quality of both phones. I think the sensor on iPhone 16 Pro is a little bit better than Galaxy S24 FE. Now, this is the main sensors of both phones. 50 megapixel sensor on Galaxy S24 FE and 48 megapixel on iPhone 16 Pro. In terms of sensor size, we have a bigger 1/1.28 on iPhone 16 Pro, and we have 1/1.57 on S24 FE. Again, larger sensor on iPhone 16 Pro. Lastly, we're cropping in on the zoom. So we have 3 times optical zoom on Samsung Galaxy S24 Fan Edition and 5x on iPhone 16 Pro. So in terms of details and exposure, which phone do you think is better? This is 4K 60 FPS on iPhone 16 Pro, the highest resolution you can find on the video recording. And we have 8K 30 FPS on S24 Fan Edition. I think that's it for our camera comparison video between these two phones. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one.